Welcome back everybody, and what we're going to be talking about today then is this rather sexy bit of kit here, which is a DZ Rig from Crossfire Packs. So then, Crossfire Packs, they originally started in Australia. They make some really good quality gear. So as the name suggests, their main effort is packs. They've recently moved on to making some more slightly different stuff. They've started to branch out a little bit. And this bit of kit is one of their latest items. And they sent me this to review, okay, to trial and to review. So full transparency, I didn't pay for this, but I will give an absolutely honest review on this kit, okay? I'm not just going to say it's amazing because they sent me it for free. However, I am pretty impressed with this kit so far. I've had it for a few months now, probably about 3 months, something like that. I used this out in the States on the recent SEER challenge. Check that out, that's going to be being broadcast in mid-January. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down this kit. I'm going to talk about its functions and features, its options, stuff like that. And at the end, as per standard, I'll give you what I see as the pros and cons of this set of kit here. So there's a bit of an introduction and a bit of background on this gear. Crossfire Packs have stated on their website that they kind of looking forward into what's happening in the world now with different conflicts. So for example, what's happening in Ukraine right now, what's going on over in Palestine, and also what's going to be possibly coming up, you know, what's on the borderline with other conflicts. So things like China looking at Taiwan and stuff. And what they're saying is, because it's near peer or peer conflicts, then you're going to want to carry more kit on your body rather than just having a set of body armour on with some ammunition and a bit of water and a knife pack, and that's it really, isn't it? So what they're looking at is stepping back a little bit into what we used to do many years ago, and carrying a belt kit, a full set of webbing as we'd call it in the UK, with much more sustainment on your body. So being able to have that more sustainability, so when you're operating as an infantry section and not just in and out of vehicles or in and out of fobs, when you're out on the ground for a certain amount of time working in what we'd call light infantry in the UK, having that amount of kit to be able to sustain yourself. So not just having a couple of water bottles and a few magazines, having a full set of gear. And funnily enough, I've always believed in this concept a lot more than something like Fight Light. Okay, so Fight Light sounds great because it means you're carrying less gear on your body, but it only works if plan A succeeds and everything works as to plan. You know, your G4 chain is on point. They get all the kit to you when you need it. Nobody's going to ambush that G4 chain because you need that resupply of ammunition because you've only carrying a certain amount of magazines. You know, casualty evacuation, that sort of thing. It never works in reality. It never works, okay? Because the enemy's got a say in what's going on. So you need to be able to carry enough kit to keep yourself going for at least 24 hours. And we'll go into that as I break down the kit. So talking about some of the options and features of the belt kit then, before I break it down into each component part. It's available in 2 sizes. So you've got medium large and large extra large. The medium large goes from 30-inch waist up to 35-inch waist. The large extra large goes from 35 up to 42-inch, okay? Bear in mind those measurements are going to be taken when you're wearing your combat clothing, okay? So base layer, smock, maybe warm kit, stuff like that. And it is adjustable, obviously, the belt's adjustable. There's lots of different colour patterns for this, and that's one of the absolutely amazing features of this kit, okay? So you can see here, this is in a rather sexy set of Tigerstripe, you know, hailing from the Vietnam War era, but actually making a bit of a resurgence nowadays. So Tigerstripe's one of the options. You've also got Ranger Green, you've got multicam, which is going to be the most popular, I would have thought, for most people around the world. Then you've got a Desert Tigerstripe, which is going to look pretty freaking amazing too. And you've also got M81 Woodland, which is the American woodland pattern from the 80s, early 90s. No doubt that'll, you know, be quite popular with certain people as well, being a bit of a retro, quite popular camouflage pattern. buckles then, you've either got on the front buckle of the belt, you've got the normal side release buckle seen here like that, which I quite like. I think it's quite a simple, good option. Or you've got a plastic version of the Cobra buckle. Now these are great, absolutely awesome, very strong bits of kit. I believe they've done it in a plastic because it's less prone to rust and stuff like that. Each to their own. I quite like the normal side release buckle. Right, so what I'm going to do now is talk about the layout of the webbing system. Okay, so what we've got on each side is 2 magazine pouches, each capable of carrying 3 magazines each. So up to a total of 12 magazines, and obviously what I'm talking about here is 5.56 magazines. I'll talk about this closure system in a sec, but there we've got some E-mags in there, so 3 of those in each side. Okay, so that's what's on there. These are removable. Now these are attached as per normal with a molly system, and the reason why they've made these removable is so that you could change the magazines depending on your weapon system. So if you were carrying a sharpshooter type rifle, you could change it for a 7.62 magazine. If you was carrying a LMG or a GPMG, you could have a bigger pouch on there, carry that different kind of weapon, ammunition. Okay, so these are removable. Obviously some people like to have a command pouch or something like that on this side as well, so you know, personal preference depending on how much ammunition you need to carry. You could obviously carry a grenade pouch on here and a smoke grenade pouch, or a couple of grenade pouches, you know, whatever your personal preference is or what your SOP is. Coming round from there then, what I'm going to do is turn the belt kit round. Okay, and what you've got is 2 water bottle size pouches, and then you've got a larger sustainment pouch in the middle. Now because this is the large stroke extra large version, this sustainment pouch is bigger than what would be on the sort of medium large size belt. Okay, so I believe, I've not seen one, but I believe the other one is slightly smaller than this. It's just slightly bigger than these ones. So you've got a nice large sustainment pouch there, 2 water bottle pouches there, and they're all got molle sides on. What I like about the fact of these is that it's not covered across the back, so it doesn't break up the camouflage pattern too badly. You've got these lines here, but it's not totally covered in molle, okay, which I think is a good point, because personally, yes, you can attach things on the sides like carabiners, maybe a loop line, small pouches for things like Leathermans or something like that, but personally I wouldn't cover the back of a pouch in other pouches. It's just ridiculous. However, on the top you do have 2 lines of molle here, which is a good idea, because you could attach something on the top of that, something like a first field dressing pouch, an IFAT pouch. You could put even a bayonet, you know, a knife, fighting knife. You could, I've put some little bungees on here. You could attach a sandbag on the back, something like that. Okay, and that's the same for all 3 pouches. You've also got a bungee system here with that toggle, so you can tighten up across there and cinch up the pouch. So if you've got stuff in there, it's a little bit loose, if you haven't completely filled out the pouch, you've got the option of doing that too. Okay, the actual yoke itself then, what you've got is it's like a PLCE style yoke, which is really nice and comfortable. You've got a mesh system on the back here, and then you've got this like daisy chain loop system. That's the Crossfire's own system, and they call this the ladder toggle attachment system, right? They've got their own proprietary pouches that can fit on the back of this as well, and they are going to develop more of that for upcoming stuff later on. So you've got the option of attaching an assault pack that they're going to bring out, a DG1 assault pack, hydration bladder carriers and that sort of thing. At the top of the yoke here then, you've got a grab handle. Now it's a little bit big and floppy, I'll talk about that more later, but it's definitely a very easily grabbable grab handle there, and you can see it's one piece of webbing that's stitched in all the way down the yoke, all the way through there to actually where it's attached at the bottom. So that's going to be super strong. Okay, that's definitely going to hold a lot of weight. Any British soldiers will be familiar, well, guys that have been in a few years at least, the PLC style side attachment point there that goes across this way diagonally across the body, same on the other side, and all these straps have got the Velcro strap tidies on them too, which is really nice of keeping your stuff neat and tidy. Okay, so that's the back of the yoke. The front of the yoke then, what you've got here, this is really nicely padded. Okay, it's not super thick, but it's a nice amount of padding on that yoke there in the right places. Okay, you've got another loop system of webbing there, so you could potentially use that for attaching items, whatever you might need, onto the yoke. These bits here, I attach them myself, so ignore those. These are bits of elastic, and I'll talk about that a little bit at the end, but I attach those so I could manage hoses and stuff like that. On the front of the yoke then, what we've got is a nice solid sternum strap. You hear that clicking nice and solidly, and that's removable. So all you need to do, if you wanted to take that off, because you're not always going to need a sternum strap, is just push that through there and you could take it off either side. Okay, so if you was wearing this, say, under body armor, that might push into your chest a little bit, so you might want to take it off. So you've got the option on there of having it on or having it off. And again, you've got the strap tidies on the bottom of the yoke there on those straps. Just one on those strap tidies, what you've got is strap tidies on the actual belt there as well. So once you've got it to the width that you want it, you can tidy it off. I always leave a little bit on either side so I can cinch it up a bit depending on, you know, what I'm wearing. I always like to have that extra little bit of tightness once you've attached it up. Okay, so that's how the belt kit's laid out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about the closure system for the pouches and the insides of the pouches, and I'll also go through, and it's not a loadout video, but I'll show you kind of some typical stuff so it can show you the size of the pouches and what they can carry. Okay then, so this closure system is quite interesting. What you've got is a double bungee here, you've got a tab that tucks underneath it, and then you open it by pulling down and then pulling up, and you notice there it's completely silent. So you've got three means of securing the pouch on each one. So the first one is just by opening up this piece of Velcro and just closing it like so. So a very quick method of just doing that. Second one is using the tuck tab. I'm just going to tuck that Velcro away just to show you. Okay, so you've got a solid piece, a solid tab here, and all that does, it tucks into a little piece underneath here like so. So all it works is like that. So you could use it just like that on its own, and I think for the ammo pouches that's probably going to be the best option, and all you do to open it is pull down, pull up, and then like that to close. So look how easy that is with one hand, easy. And then for an extra bit of security, all you need to do is raise the bungees and tuck that under. So really quick, and unless you use the Velcro, silent. So quite interesting there. Okay, right then, so the pouch itself, this is sized quite well for what I'd like anyway, for a water bottle. Okay, so you've got a standard, the old style green ones, water bottle there, and then what you've got is a metal mug below that. Okay, so obviously a, you know, standard bit of kit for most infantry soldiers. So you could carry one of those in either side of those water bottle pouches. Then coming round to that big sustainment pouch there in the centre, got the same attachment system, and you know, for these rear pouches I definitely want to use the bungees myself, you know, because as you're running around something could catch this, or you know, a branch or something, and having that's just going to prevent that from happening, but that's going to secure it nice. And then going into this pouch here, what I've done is again, it's not a loadout video, but I've just shown you what you can carry in here if you needed to. So I've just shoved the shemag in there, then I've got 24 hours of rations there, I've got the usual British Army issue pack of Dragon Fuel, a cooker, standard issue cooker there with 3 tabs in it, and then an air marker panel at the back there, and a couple of silo-looms. You can see there in that pouch, right, there's loads of space left, all right, so you could easily carry more stuff in there, whatever you needed to carry, you know. whether that be something like smoke grenades, link for an LMG, you know, whatever. You could carry like a lightweight warm layer, whatever in there, you know. And that's it. That is the pouches and how they're laid out, and you can see it's a really neat setup. Okay, if anyone hasn't already noticed what could be potentially missing from this, I'll cover it at the end, but I'm sure a couple of people that are serving in the military might have noticed something at this stage. Looking at the reverse side of the DZ Rig then, what you can see here is this nice big pad that stretches all the way across. I don't know what the actual width is of that pad in here, but it looks like it's maybe 5mm or so, something like that. And what that does is it adds a mega amount of comfort to when you're carrying this belt kit loaded up with all your ammunition, water and stuff like that. Just a lovely, nice bit of padding against your hips, against your backside. Just makes it super comfortable to carry. You'll notice here then, there's a step where it comes up where the magazine pouches are. That's to allow you to be able to move quickly, to run, so that this doesn't, you know, affect or restrict your movement as you're running around the place. But yeah, it steps up forward here, and this bit actually goes against your hips and just provides a fantastic amount of level of how, you know, comfortable this gear is. Looking at the yoke then, you've got that mesh back to it there, so it allows the sweat to kind of evaporate away from your back, and then you've got a light bit of padding on the rear top part of the yoke there, and then you can see that this bit here nice and padded too, so super comfortable. Okay, so this is my DG3 pack. I bought this from Crossfire a couple of years ago. I've done a review on it. Really good bit of kit. Now here's the lumbar support here. You probably noticed that the rest of that waist strap is missing. So the way this works then is you remove it via these tabs here and here, and then you've got a couple of buckles here. So once you've taken the waist strap off, you attach these pack adapter straps. So it's just a piece of webbing and a sewn together end here that you just pass through, and then the tension will keep that in place. Quite a simple system really. Then you've got a strap with a male end of Fastex buckle, and then an adjustment strap here. So that then attaches to the webbing, and you cinch it up using this strap to make it nice and tight, and I'll show you that now. Okay, so I'm wearing the rucksack then above the set of belt kit. All I'm going to do is take that strap and I'll pass it through the buckle, click it into place, tighten it up. I've done the same on the other side. So that's it done, easy peasy. And what that's doing now, that's transferring some of that weight down through the belt kit onto my hips, which is actually a really good idea. Anyone that's serving in the British Army that's been issued the latest Virtus kit, they'll know that Virtus tried doing that with that spine adapter thing, and everyone could see. I mean, I before I'd even tried it, you could tell that that ain't gonna work, because it wasn't easily sort of jetsonable and that sort of thing, and it just looked like it was going to break from the offset, and I believe that's pretty much what happened to it. But with this, all you've got is those simple straps there. You just adjust them as you need to, like so, and then when it comes to getting rid of your pack, you're just going to take them off. And obviously with the Crossfire packs, you've got this system here. I believe they call this the bug out shoulder system or something. You just dump it, easy. So bang bang, done. Obviously if you've got a sternum strap on, you'd need to do that as well. But to be honest, you wouldn't be carrying the rucksack in that mode, all strapped up, load bearing and stuff on your hips, when you were in close proximity to the enemy anyway, you know. You'd only be doing that on an approach march or something like that. And then if there was a fairly high chance of you being ambushed or, you know, making contact or whatever, you probably just undo those and have it just sat there, and it's still going to take a good proportion of the weight. But what these straps do is it helps cinch that in nice and tight, and it does help spread the weight across your hips, which is ideal for when you're carrying large loads. Okay, wearing the belt kit then, wearing the DZ Rig. This is super comfortable, and I'm not just saying that, it's really comfortable. Once you've got it fitted to your body size, you've got the yoke adjusted how you want it. Remember, you've got those 6 attachment points there, and you've got the belt kind of cinched at the right point on your hips. It spreads the weight really well, which is something that can't really be said for a plate carrier with pouches all over it. It just doesn't balance as well, okay? The other thing you'll notice here, right, so here's my hip bones. The other thing you'll notice is that if I went to take the prone position now to react to effective enemy fire and start firing back, then, you know, I'm going to be able to lay flat easily. And I absolutely guarantee you, from experience, I know this, if you're getting shot at, you don't want to be taking a knee, you don't want to be standing up, okay, and returning fire. You need to get as low to the ground as possible. You need to get your belt buckle on the ground, as they say, get as flat as you can. You can't really do that when you're wearing pouches all over the front of a plate carrier, which is, you know, that's fine if you're in a vehicle and stuff, but once you're out of that vehicle, or if you're just on foot and patrolling, you need to be able to get as flat to the ground as possible, okay? This kind of setup allows you to do that. So just demonstrating those magazine pouches there, then the open and closure, all I need to do is take them out of the bungees, hook them up, get my magazine on, put up my weapon, then with the same hand I'm just going to close it like that. And if I need to add extra security, just do that. How easy is that? All left-handed, and I'm not even looking at that pouch, okay? So I'm going to look away completely, look away, and then there we go, easy, okay? And I've only had this a couple of months. It's not like I've been training with this for years. Just doing a quick 360 of the kit then, so you can see what it's like when it's worn. There we go, and this could be worn underneath body armour or even potentially over the top of body armour, okay, depending on what you're using, whether you want to be able to attach stuff to the back of the yoke or not, whether you want it to go underneath, so you can take your body armour on and off quickly. You know, it's up to you. I've worn belt kit underneath body armour primarily, but I've seen other people over the top, as in wearing it over the top of body armour, and this could be used like that. So that's my review of the DZ Rig by Crossfire Packs. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk through what I see personally, my point of view, as the pros and cons of this kit, okay? So firstly, I'll go with pros, all right? So first one is the quality of it, all right? As with all their gear, you know, I've got, as you can see there, I've got one of their rucks underneath this set of belt kit. I've got another couple of them as well that I've done reviews on. I'm really impressed with the quality of their gear, and this is no exception, okay? All the stitching, all the seams, all the buckles, everything is in absolutely top-notch condition. It's all really good quality kit, okay? So the first one's a quality. Second one then is how comfortable this kit is. It's super comfortable, okay? When you're wearing this, even loaded out with weight, it's going to be mega comfortable. Just the way it sits on your body, it just seems to forms to your body straight away. Normally when you get a set of belt kit, when you're making up your own set of molly belt kit or whatever, it takes a little while for it to kind of form to your body. I found this thing here straight away was just super comfortable, and I was really impressed with that side of it. Next pro then is the colour options. I mean, flipping heck, Tigerstripe belt kit, shit the bed. That is flipping mega. I love this. I absolutely love this camouflage pattern. I've never seen a set of belt kit in Tigerstripe in my life. I think it looks absolutely mega. Those other colour options you get as well, you know, the desert Tigerstripe, if you was working in an arid environment, would look cool as hell. The M81 old American camouflage, that looks brilliant as well. And to be honest, the Ranger green looks flipping awesome as well. I've seen a set of that. Brent 0331 over in the States, he's got a set of that, and it looks freaking cool as hell. And then obviously, you know, you've got the multicam as well, which is, to be honest, what everyone needs nowadays for, you know, for most armies anyway, Western world. But you know, the colour options you can get on these are pretty amazing, I think. The adaptability then is another pro on this. You can change the front pouches out to suit the weapon system that you're using. So, you know, heavier caliber weapon systems, and also you could potentially want to put grenade pouches on, stuff like that. So it's adaptable, which is great. Okay, so the last pro I've got for this then is how much gear this can carry, you know. So anyone that's used belt kit, and I know it's becoming a little bit more popular nowadays because of what's going on in the world. It's very popular in the UK, it always has been. They'll know that you can carry a lot more in this than you carry in, say, a chest rig or with pouches attached to a body armor setup. So that's another great pro with this, is you can carry a lot more sustainability with this type of gear. Okay then, some cons then. Now, I mentioned during the video then, did anyone spot anything that it could be a potential problem? Now, one thing I think is a slight con is you're fixed into just having these 3 pouches. Okay, so you've got sustainment, water bottle, and I'd always personally carry 2 water bottles. Where are you going to put an IFAK? All right, so you could switch this for an IFAK, you could use an ammo pouch sized IFAK, yep, or you could put it in the top of your sustainment pouch, or you could actually attach it to the top itself of the sustainment pouch, but there's no dedicated place for an IFAK. So that's one potential con, okay, but there is ways around it, as I've just spoken there. Next one's the drag handle. I am not a big fan of this massive big drag handle. It is very, you can see it's sturdy as hell, it's stitched all the way through the webbing and all that sort of stuff, and you could definitely grab that, no problem at all. But the problem is all the foliage you're moving through could also drag that, okay? That'll grab that. So personally, I would have rather it was sewn something, you know, like in that kind of configuration, which funny enough is kind of how they normally do their grab handles on their rucksacks. Bit more low profile. So I fed that back to the company. I don't know if they'll change anything, but that's just my personal point of view. Yeah, so I'd rather have a more low profile grab handle. One on the yoke itself then, and this is easily fixed, but I mentioned earlier that I attached the bungee strap in here. I've just basically got some bungee webbing type stuff, bought it off eBay, it was a couple of quid, threaded it through the loops, and I sewed it on the back. Now that then enables you to get your hydration hoses through there to manage those instead of having flopping all over the place, or cables for radios. So that would have been nice if it was included. It's not a flipping major deal, you know, it's easily fixable. I've showed how easy it is here, but yeah, it would have been nice to have that already on the gear. The only other thing that I would have changed, and it's not so much of a con, but it's something I would have preferred, personal point of view, you know, my preference was on this big sustainment pouch on the back. I'd have rather that had a hood with a draw cord on it. I think you get that on some of the American butt packs, because you could potentially have smaller items in here, you know, things like these chem lights could potentially, depending on how much you can, you know, you're banging around getting in and out of vehicles, moving through foliage, things snagging on stuff, something could pop out of there, couldn't it? But if you had a draw cord string with a hood on it, that you could definitely prevent that from happening. But that's just my, you know, personal preference, and again, I fed that back to the company. But to summarise then, I love this set of kit. So I've used belt kit in all sorts of theatres all around the world for 25 years plus, all right? Plus another 8 years in the reserves, and it definitely, I think it's the way to go really if you're an infantry soldier and you're dismounted. I know things will be different if you're working out of vehicles, if you're armoured or mechanised, but a foot soldier, as in dismounted infantry, then this is the way to go personally in my eyes. So if you check this out, have a look on Crossfire's website, they've got it available now. It's £275. I know that's not cheap, but you get what you pay for, yeah? And this I'm sure will last you for flipping years of hard abuse. Yeah, check it out. They've also got lots of other great stuff on their website, obviously, like the rucksacks and that, and they're starting to branch out now, tents and all sorts of other stuff. So let me know in the comments section below, has anyone used this kit yet? Or has anyone got their own belt kit that they would prefer over this, or has this got any points that you can see would be better than the stuff that you're currently using? Put a comment in the section below, let's see what you got to say. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. As always, stay prepared.